What's up, guys? It's Chris from Pursuit of Possibility. Welcome to my channel. We've been talking about these things called cognitive distortions, these subtle ways that our brain lies to us to trick us into negative thought spirals that end up fueling anxiety, depression, and self-sabotage. If we can learn to modify this distorted type of thinking and replace it with more positive thoughts, we can significantly reduce the risk of anxiety, depression, self-sabotage. Last week, we focused on a cognitive distortion called a negative mental filter. That's when you only focus on negative information and don't even consider the positive side of the story. Today, we're going to talk about a cognitive distortion that I think is a little bit worse, although similar. It's called disqualifying the positive. We're going to focus on defining this cognitive distortion, looking at a few examples in real life, and ultimately focus on the solution. If you guys enjoy the video, make sure to like and share with someone else who might need to hear the message, and subscribe for consistently positive perspective and practical strategies to live life fully and reduce mental suffering along the way. Disqualifying the positive is when we actively acknowledge positive aspects of a situation or of ourselves and still choose to reject that positive information and embrace the negative. You can see how this is really dangerous. You can see how this could cause us to reinforce negative thought patterns over time, even in the face of evidence to the contrary. I did well on my test because I just got lucky. I did really bad on my test, and that's because I'm not a good student. I closed that big sales deal because I got lucky. The deal fell through because I'm not really good at sales. If you've ever had thoughts similar to this, it's a sign that you're disqualifying the positive. You attribute success to an alignment of the stars while attributing failures to inherent character flaws. When we're disqualifying the positive, for some reason, good things don't count. That was an easy task. It was attributed to chance, or maybe even I made a mistake. And yet bad things are deeply internalized as personal flaws. I've been guilty of disqualifying the positive at work and in relationships. I remember when I started out at Google and my manager was giving me positive feedback. But instead of embracing my manager's positive feedback, I thought to myself, oh, she's just being nice. She's just being politically correct. And I diligently sought out the evidence that I wasn't as good as what she was saying I was. And then in a past relationship, when I had my girlfriend tell me she loved me, I couldn't accept it. I thought to myself, she doesn't really mean it. She's saying that out of pity. If she knew who I really was, she would definitely not love me. Can anybody relate? I believe that at the root of disqualifying the positive is having a negative belief about ourselves. The reality is that you and I and all of us were 10 out of 10s. We came into this world with such inherent potential and such capabilities and talents and unique inherent value. But as we aged, leading up to 18, we made decisions about ourselves and the world in response to trauma, and those decisions created our programming that runs in the background without us knowing at the subconscious level. And if that programming doesn't serve us, say the programming thinks we're a 5 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10, the results we produce will be at a 5 out of 10 level. And when we do achieve at a 10 out of 10 level, we'll sabotage ourselves because those results don't line up with our beliefs about who we really are. We could intellectually know we're worthy, but when our programming says otherwise and the subconscious brain says otherwise, our intelligence really can't beat that out. We've got to work on changing our beliefs. So what's our solution to disqualifying the positive? Number one, it's awareness and a new perspective. Take a look back at your childhood. Were there traumatic things that happened? What decisions and interpretations did you make in response to those events? And how did that impact the way that you see yourself in the world? Also ask yourself the question, what's the payoff of holding on to these limiting beliefs and continuing to disqualify the positive? Maybe you get the satisfaction of being right. Maybe you get sympathy, or ultimately you get to avoid taking responsibility for your greatness. Are there underlying beliefs at work like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm unlovable? If that's the case, acknowledge them, show some self-compassion, and consider a new perspective that you are worthy of everything that you've ever wanted. You're deserving. Step 2 is taking responsibility for your programs that you might have developed over time and being willing to risk being wrong about your limiting beliefs and to take action to work on changing those beliefs. Have the courage to look at your negative beliefs about yourself and give them the middle finger. And you do that by taking bold action in the face of your dreams and actually going for the things that you want, knowing that you're worthy. As you start to change your beliefs, your thoughts are going to change with them. Before, you might have told yourself, I did well on the test and it was just because I got lucky. And now you might say, I did well on the test and it's because I prepared and I worked hard and I earned it. Before, you might have told yourself, I did bad on this test and that's because I'm not a good student. But now you'd tell yourself, I did bad on this test, but there's an opportunity to change my approach and improve. Guys, I hope you got something out of this video, and if anything, know that y'all are rock stars. You are so capable, and I want the best for you. Can't wait to talk next week. I love you guys.